nobody talking about this, but we gotta look into this, man, because this is getting out of hand. Like Chiefs fans, Eagles fans, you want to talk about one of the most exciting Super Bowls in recent history? Let's see, Super Bowl rating. Aww. And we're gonna see what the Super Bowl has been doing these past couple of seasons in terms of viewership. Now, I don't know why they want to start all the way at the bottom. We're going to start in the modern era. Okay, so you got 2024, 2023. The average viewers in millions. In millions now. You got the Super Bowl, the date, the network, average viewers. You guys can read, can't you? I hope you can read. Hopefully you can read. February 11th, 2024. That was last year. The average cost for a Super Bowl ad was $7 million. That means you had to pay the NFL $7 million to get on a time. CBS, $120 million. I'm guessing that's 250,000 probably. 120.25 million. Ratings in the household, 42.1. Then you guys see the average age was 35. I don't know how they got those stats, but that's kind of weird because CBS is not a what would you call it? An exclusive cable network. I mean, that's just like if you don't have cable, if you got analog TV or you got a satellite or a little dish that you use on the inside of your house, not dish network, not something that's outside. You guys, 35 is the average age. How did they figure that number out? I guess because for the people that don't have cable, where you got to sign up and use your age and all that, I don't know, man. That's kind of weird to me. That's like some Fed type stuff right there. So you guys see average viewers in millions, 120 million. Now you gotta understand this is different from the NBA. If you compare the NBA's finals, that's through 4 games, 7 games, 4 to 7 games, depending on how long it is. You get somewhere like 8 million, 10 million, 12 million, something like that on average. But when you come to the NFL, they have one game, one big day, so you guys can see for yourself. 120 million. That's a large number. That's a lot of money. Just do 120 million times 7. That'll give you a rough estimate.
Oh God! No! God, please, no! No! God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
My hotkeys are turned up, but I think it's somewhere. No, it didn't even save it, but it's a large number. That's just a rough estimate. That's not saying anything special about the NFL. 100 if you multiply 120 million viewers times the average cost of what it takes to, have a slot or have a commercial aired through the Super Bowl, that gives you one number, but that's not the overall amount of money that the NFL makes on this day. You gotta understand that the NFL probably rakes in about $1 billion plus dollars throughout the whole entire week in ad revenue. Because you guys gotta understand, it's a big deal from Monday to Sunday. That's Super Bowl week. So you gotta think about the local people who are trying to get their ad placements. Nike, Adidas, all these apparel, all these companies come in for this week. So you guys gotta understand the NFL is not hurting. Their ratings are not hurting compared to the NBA. But 120 million last year, 114 million the previous year, 99 million, 95 million. So each year the ratings have been climbing. Since 2021. That's a good sign. And I think that number is going to be, hopefully, probably 130. 130 million people going to watch. You know what? That number might be down because of the subscriptions and all that. And it's crazy, man. Everybody's going away from cable because cable is just getting so high. And then you don't have the option to pick what channels you want to watch. For so long, when you had cable, you were forced to have 100 and something, 200, 300, 400 channels, and you only watch like 5 to 10 channels, maybe on average. But now that we have these streaming services where we can pick and choose what we want to watch and what we're interested in. But you guys see the NFL Super Bowl average viewership is probably like 100 million plus. 100 million plus. It's crazy. The first time I've seen 60 million is January 1981. But that's in the 80s, in the modern era. So let's get deeper into this thing. We gotta talk.
How fitting. Getting knocked out in the title match, followed by some adversity, then training, sweating, bleeding, all for another shot at the champ. I guess it is a Philly thing. History is officially on the line. Kansas City Chiefs, now public enemy number 1. Their detractors hate the way they walk, hate the way they talk, the way they dress. Doesn't have to be deep, I guess. The wife, the star, Kelsey isn't taking it serious anymore. Mahomes is flopping, the flags. Ask them what they talking about. They'll tell you they're talking about nothing. Now one win away from becoming the first team in NFL history to capture 3 bowls in a row. Never satisfied, baby. Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back, Dark Knight, Fly Eagles Fly, hoping for Rocky 2, of course. Chiefs Eagles sequel, better take it to a whole nother level.
Seasons ago. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what happened a couple seasons ago? Well, let's take a look. In 2023, the Eagles was literally dominating that game. 17 plus 7, what is that, like 24-14? And then the Eagles forgot how to, defend. I remember that like it was yesterday. The defense is literally what caused them to lose the game. I mean, the Chiefs were trying to find themselves in the first half. Patrick Mahomes didn't even have a good Super Bowl. He didn't even have a good game. 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts did what he had to do. But I remember vaguely that it was the defense of the Eagles that let them down in this Super Bowl. 67,000 people in attendance. And you guys saw that. I think it was like 110 million or something like that. That actually, well, I can bring it back up. For 2023. 114 million average viewers. That's crazy. $7 million for the ad placement. And then, here it is. The Kansas City Chiefs have a 5-5 record versus the Eagles all time. Dating back to 1972, I guess. 2023. They don't have a Super Bowl on this one. So, what the heck? Why am I even? StatMuse, y'all need to get y'all stuff together, bro. How you not have a Super Bowl all-time means? Get y'all stuff together, man. And here it is. What is that, November 20th, 2023? So they played each other twice that year. Philly actually beat them. What is with the Chiefs always losing to teams in the regular season and then in the playoffs they just beat them? 38-35. That Super Bowl was amazing to watch. This one is going to be even more fun because now the Chiefs have more weapons that they didn't have before. And now the Eagles have a weapon that they didn't have before. Isaiah Pacheco. If I'm not mistaken, Isaiah Pacheco was in that Super Bowl. But now they have also Juju Smith-Schuster was too. They have Kareem Hunt, who's a new addition, and they have Sammy Watkins, who I think is going to come alive. Not only that, they got some deep threats out there. Xavier Worthy. Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, is the only addition. Plus, the defense has played a lot better this year. But is that enough to offset what the Chiefs can do? Is that enough? You're going to give your top players, the Chiefs, versus top 3 players versus the Eagles' top 3 players. Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce. That big 3 versus Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and A.J. Brown. that big three. The Eagles' big three is a lot more potent. Now, when you take a couple steps back, the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is just, they've tried and true, man. They're going for 3 straight Super Bowls. 3 straight. 3 straight Super Bowls. That's unheard of. Now, we've seen the Patriots wins, what they got, like 7 Super Bowls, and then you guys know the number. So with that being said, this game is gonna be excruciatingly beautifully played, hopefully. 23-14, 32-29. Buffalo, if you guys remember, and the Bengals always beat the Chiefs in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, like I said, the Chiefs always lose to teams in the regular season that they beat in the playoffs. Green Bay, 22-10, 28-22, 55-23. This was kind of a head scratcher for me because I didn't expect Washington, who split the season series against the Eagles during the regular season, to get blown out the way they did. And those penalties, that was just embarrassing for the Washington Redskins. My bad. The Washington Commanders. But it is what it is. Isaiah Pacheco is back, and their rushing attack, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, 2 different styles versus Saquon Barkley. The Chiefs are going to have their hands full. Not only that, they got to deal with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But on the flip side, Jalen Hurts, will he have the game that he had last year versus the Chiefs? Not last year, but the last Super Bowl. The last time we seen him in the Super Bowl. He dominated. 304 yards, 1 touchdown. It was just the defense. Hopefully the defense can answer the bell this season. If not, it's going to be a long game for the Eagles once again.
How fitting. Getting knocked out in the title match, followed by some adversity, then training, sweating, bleeding, all for another shot at the champ. I guess it is a Philly thing. History is officially on the line. Kansas City Chiefs, now public enemy number 1. Their detractors hate the way they walk, hate the way they talk, the way they dress. Doesn't have to be deep, I guess. The wife, the star, Kelce isn't taking it serious anymore. Mahomes is flopping, the flags. Ask them what they talking about. They'll tell you they're talking about nothing. Now 1 win away from becoming the first team in NFL history to capture 3 bowls in a row. Never satisfied, baby. Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back, Dark Knight, Fly Eagles Fly, hoping for Rocky 2, of course. Chiefs Eagles sequel, better take it to a whole nother level, like Saquon has been doing all year. Barkley versus the second hardest team on running backs in 2024. Your number 1 matchup to pay attention to in Super Bowl 59. Hey, let's go! Let's go! Barkley is where it starts, has hustle and ambition flowing inside his DNA. Eagles offense fueled by their ground game. Saquon hat-tricked his way into the Super Bowl. 2K year, followed by playoff dominance. Philadelphia's 2024 run-pass split dimensions. Too much for even Sir Mix-a-Lot. First to 32nd is as wide as it gets. Barkley looks like Barry Sanders reincarnated. KC defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo charged with coming up with a way to stop him. As mentioned, his defense, second hardest team on running backs in 2024. It'll take their entire starting 11 to do the job right. Have to play the run better than the last time we saw him. Didn't fare great versus James Cook. And if they can't stop Barkley, it sets up play action. Jalen Hurts with a 116 rate off play action. Chiefs defense gave up a 113 rate to it. 28. Play action, Stroud, throws, Collins is back involved. On to superstar number 2 for key matchup number 2. I mean, if you didn't come for the chili, what did you come for? Philadelphia's number 1 scoring defense versus Mahomes Magic. Same deal. It's an all hands on deck situation. He doesn't have the stats this season, but no one better at finding a way to beat you. And for what it's worth, his AFC Championship game showing one of his best all year, and the very first time they scored more than 30 points this season. For the 11th first down, pass worthy, touchdown! Touchdown Kansas City! Keep it close, let Mahomes do what's needed. That's been the formula this season. So with that in mind, go back to Philadelphia's offense for our third key matchup. Back to Kansas City's need to contain Philadelphia's O. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, squabbling up with Kansas City cornerbacks Jamari Conner, Jalen Watson, and Trent McDuffie. McDuffie, Kansas City's CB1. He's a traveling man, so likely going to see him chase Brown around a lot. A.J. finally finished War and Peace and was back to being an elite receiver. NFC Conference Championship game, 96 yards plus a score. First to throw. Near side, let's hurry up. Touchdown! Smith, very much the WR2, but puts up lots of WR1 games. Has seen 4 targets in each playoff game so far, caught all 4 each time. Footwork from Devontae Smith. This guy's a stud. Chiefs secondary didn't play wide receivers or tight ends especially tough this season. Kansas City safeties Brian Cook, Justin Reed, Jaden Hicks all have to be ready to help with Dallas Goedert, the 5th member of Philadelphia's offensive band. Caught 7 of his 8 targets versus Washington, 85 yards. Hurts, good as a man. Open, catch, and he's down near the 10. Key matchup number 4, Philadelphia's O-line versus Kansas City's front 4. To derail Hurts, it's about pressuring him without blitzing him. If he torches 5+, Hurts' last outing was one of his best too. Thus, the Bob Belcher 50 burger with all the extras they hit the Commanders with. Going deep, A.J. Brown, he's got it! Now, Hurts' passer rating dropped 20 points under pressure in 2024. Really his only weakness this season. Pressure's coming. Classification closed there. Hurts now destroying Philadelphia. Spags sent 5+ a lot this year, but not versus Allen in their latest win. He dialed it way back, helped keep Allen from running, but not throwing. They gave up 2 TDs to him, didn't pick him off, a 111 rate, and they weren't elite when it came to stopping the pass this year either. Allen, Robinson open! It's Samuel for the touchdown! The battles within the battle, the edge wars between left tackle Jordan Mailata, only 2 sacks allowed all year, and defensive ends Mike Dana and Charles Omenihu, who usually fire from the left. Solid type dudes. Other side, second team All-Pro, right tackle Wayne Johnson didn't let anyone beat him for a bag, versus Kansas City sack leader George Karlaftis. Wow, Karlaftis again! What a game, what a half! In the middle, guards Mekhi Becton, Landon Dickerson, assuming he's healthy, center Cam Jurgens, assuming he's healthy, versus defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton, 6.5 sacks for the year, took Allen down once, and his game-wrecking cohort, first teamer Chris Jones. Jones will play a big role in team matchup number 5, facing Allen and Cook, a nice warm-up in a lot of ways. They stopped Allen on 2 of his 5 sneaks. Goes out left side again, and again he's denied. Can they do that against Hurts with a little help from his friends? He comes in off a 3-rush TD outing, ran for 70 yards and a score the week before, averaged 42 rush yards per game this season. Bob Ross at 14 times in the reg. Mahomes isn't the sneaky type, but his legs are key to this matchup too. His runs have been vital to their success, just as imperative to keeping drives alive and putting points on the board like he did versus Buffalo. He can keep it, he can get there, he's in for the touchdown! Philadelphia linebackers Warren Burks and first-teamer Zach Bond very much will be on alert to try and stop him. Eagles were mid versus quarterbacks versus runners for 2024. They were elite versus quarterback arms though. Mahomes, he has an elite arm, but pressure is key to slowing him too. So we return to the trenches for key matchup number 7. His rate dipped 20+ points versus pressure this season. And then from there, when he holds the ball, you have a chance. Philadelphia doesn't blitz much, rely on their front 4. Joe Tooney at left tackle moved there late in the year because it was a problem for them all season. Mano a mano with Philadelphia sack leader Josh Sweat most of the game. 8 QB takedowns for the year. On the right side, Jawan Taylor gave up team high 7 sacks, lots of flags, just how Peso did it. Versus Nolan Smith Jr., who really came on strong down the stretch. Back goes Love, he's tackled by Nolan Smith. Huge battle in the middle too. Kansas City center Creed Humphrey, one of the best in the biz. Right guard Trey Smith, plenty solid. And left guard Mike Caliendo, who slid in for Tooney. He gave up a sack and 10 QB pressures to Buffalo. Versus Milton Williams, a 5-sack dude. And Jalen Carter, no one's killing that dude's vibe right now. 4.5 bags, but is blossoming into an elite defensive tackle in front of our eyes. Oh, that's gonna be huge. When the ball comes out, how about Bond and safeties Reed Blankenship and CJ Gardner-Johnson, all guys who excelled versus the pass. Team was top 10 tough on tight ends against Kelsey, who some think might be motivated to go off, and then go off when it's over. Kelsey, the greatest possibly postseason, number 1. The most consistent wideout for Kansas City, rookie Xavier Worthy, 85 yards in a TD versus Buffalo, 5+ catches in his last 6 games. Pass, Worthy, touchdown! There's DeAndre Hopkins, he's been real quiet as of late. Hollywood Brown, he's chipped in 40-ish yards a game in his few KC outings. Juju Smith-Schuster, 60 yards versus the Bills. 29 yards to Juju Smith-Schuster. Worthy, Schuster, D-Hop versus Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Darius Slay. Philadelphia secondary shut down Mr. Rookie Phenom in the conference championship game. Held Jaden Daniels to 5.3 yards per attempt. 72 rate, kicked him off. He sat down humbled, I believe. Second in the playoffs, not in the regular season, and that should be a wrap. That pick, one of
The Ravens. Get Lamar Jackson a number 1 wide receiver that can catch, man. They don't have nobody that can catch. So the Super Bowl is tonight. Make sure y'all go ahead and stick around for that. Highlights, coverages, and all that good stuff. We gotta get them. The ratings are already gonna be good. I think we gotta surpass 120 million.